So we have confirmation that the talks for the deal is a real thing. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. I gave my opinions yesterday as to the conversation happening with From Software being potentially acquired by Sony in this merger that they want to take into reality with Kadokawa, which is the parent company for From Software. In my opinion, I think they need to do what they need to stay competitive in this gaming scene. Right now, the truth is Microsoft has bludgeoned them by positioning itself to be able to deliver content everywhere and also taking basically the most profitable game for PlayStation every year, and it's not under their control. Now, PlayStation got a decent deal. They're going to give them the game for about 10 years, but the game is on parity and it's already doing wonders for Xbox. So PlayStation is trying to make some moves that's going to keep it in a competitive scene. Now, the news right here is already telling us, if you look at, say, maybe even some of the media writers, and there's also even a copy of a letter of intent that PlayStation has already published. Kadokawa basically has put this particular, as I say PlayStation, I meant to say Kadokawa Corporation published this. They said there are some articles on the acquisition of Kadokawa Corporation hereinafter the company by Sony Group Inc. However, the information is not announced by the company. The company has received an initial letter of intent to acquire company shares, but no decision has been made at this time. If there are any facts that should be announced in the future, we will make an announcement in a timely and appropriate manner. So this conversation is a reality. In fact, to the video that I made initially, talking about this, where I said, let them cook, get out of Sony's way, let them, go in and try to compete. Somebody responded and said, you must have got kidnapped and told to speak this Japanese or this Yapsense. I don't know what they meant by that. And they said, or else, because this is not VG Fight that I know, advocating for exclusivity that doesn't benefit PlayStation, that doesn't benefit PlayStation to claim, bro literally got bought out. Now, you admitted something. You said, and no, I didn't watch your video at all because based on your title alone, it's foolish and against your entire stance on this channel. Now, I wish you had watched the video, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't care about exclusivity, number one. And there are indicators that say that From Software's games are most likely not going to be exclusive. Why? The biggest player base for it is on PC. It's just a simple fact. So if PlayStation decided that they were going to go try to make the game exclusive in one way or the other, a lot of PC players are going to pretty much also go ahead and ignore it. Why? There are other Souls-like games on PC. I know, From Software makes the best ones, but it doesn't really matter. A lot of PC players are not going to go buy a PlayStation to play one game. That's not going to happen. Well, to play a From Software game if they know that they're going to get it on PC, which they hold the biggest market. Now, maybe a game like GTA 5, that's the one game I've seen people say they're going to double dip for. But at the end of the day, you also got to look at the data. You see, this is the problem that we have. Data basically tells you that this exclusivity bid is a dying breed. I'm not for it. Just yesterday, when I showed you guys the chart of exclusive games that have released on Steam, there were about 16,800 and something. Now that number has become 16,929. In 24 hours, the delta has gone up significantly, and we're still in November. By the time December is done, we would have had over 17,000 games on Steam. When Elden Ring came out, I think that came out in 2022 or so, there were only 12,000 games. So there are a lot of games to play. If I open my Steam library and I showed you just my Souls-like collection, it's got a lot of From Software games, but just lately we saw Neowitz with Lies of P. We saw, CI Games with the Lords of the Fallen remake. And a lot of these companies are starting to understand and get the formula right. It's only a matter of time before somebody will now give them some really serious competition. I wouldn't be worried about that. Another thing, too, is I don't hold any loyalty or brand loyalty to PlayStation or Xbox. I guess this is another thing that many of you are probably, seeing. And I understand that there is some, reality that Sony might corrupt the way the games from Software are made available to people. I get it. In fact, you said Sony will corrupt more and will spread to anime even further, just as spreading to gaming with its destructive grip. Well, let them do it. They will bomb then. I guess maybe what you're saying now is, and what you're doing is you're probably putting an indictment on anime players and even gamers. Gamers, I know, are disciplined enough to only buy the games mostly that they want. Some gamers don't have any discipline, nor do they have, and this is not an insult to anybody specifically, nor do they have any restraint. But that's just the reality. Those who have restraint, who are willing to get quality products in terms of entertainment, will hold their money until they're given what it is that they want. Who knows? Maybe they're going to, make From Software bend to their, California style of doing things. Or maybe this is a strategic way to keep From Software in the East so that From Software can cook on their behalf while they adjust their Western philosophy in terms of their games, their game developers, and, the way their studios actually run. Hey, you don't know. In my opinion, I think there are just so many, possibilities that you have to pretty much take into account with all of this. No problem. Just saying that the way the industry is going right now, I think a gamer needs to look out for themselves. And I made a 25-minute video. Yes, I did just recently on how to actually go ahead and take into account what it will require for you to build a gaming PC. I know this might be something that a lot of people are not necessarily fond of. They've said things like, a gaming PC is not necessarily the best thing for them and the options, and they have all these, reservations. But I broke it down with cost. I broke it down with all of the different components. All of that is there and is available for you. Now, I have all the consoles. I've played on all the consoles. I still do play on all the consoles. But I realized that the market shift has largely been positioned to only benefit the publishers and the platform holders, aka PlayStation and Xbox. This is why you don't see me, even though most of my content will criticize PlayStation, I want PlayStation to be able to make moves that keeps Xbox on its toes, and I want Xbox to be able to make moves that keeps PlayStation on its toes. Why? I get to benefit as the consumer or as the, patron in this regard. So again, like I've said, exclusivity is going to die. If they take From Software's games exclusive, they're going to sell exclusive level numbers. Believe you me, if you are looking for the data, go look up Elden Ring's PC sales. Just look at Elden Ring on SteamDB. That will tell you everything you need to know. Like if they break code, let's go ahead and search Elden Ring so I can show you what it is that I want to show you, because a lot of people are not really, paying attention to what the data actually is showing. Elden Ring by itself, if you look at its charts, you will see that this game on a conservative level sold 10 million of its 25 million copies, or 14 million according to VG Insights on PC, on Steam alone. So if, PlayStation does not recognize its big user base and bring its, From Software games they want to PC, then it's lost. It's only on PC that people are actually trying to remake the Bloodborne, patch and all of the above. Now, that's the one that's going to be, under question. So those guys better move fast because From Software seems to take on a much more, pro player, pro consumer stance as well, by letting people be able to mod and get their cheat engines and do some really fun and cool stuff within their games. Is PlayStation going to allow for them to be able to continue that? I'm sure there are a lot of these questions, but again, I see what people are hesitant about, and that's what I've been talking about for a while. You don't want PlayStation's control on some of your favorite IPs. Some of you, you don't want Xbox to take full control without any checks and balances. So what you need to do is you need to start thinking about you, the gamer, how you're going to move across, a lot of these different things that are going on in terms of these games. But hey, this is it right now. You're getting you're getting a good head start. The merger might take a while. They might refuse the offer. Whatever it is, don't think that, this kind of stuff is not going to rear its head again. But I think what this is actually showing even more is even some PlayStation fans are not excited about this because they know that this is going to basically go and put PlayStation's, management style and insert it into an independently excellent studio for the most part, which is even much more of a damning reality for PlayStation, that they've not been managing the studios that they've acquired lately in the best way. Look at Firewalk, look at Bungie, and now they want to go get From Software. Oh boy, I'm sure that's why people are, in a sense adamant, but I wouldn't worry. I just look at it as there are going to be games that will suffocate any studio's games if PlayStation does not manage or steer or direct them properly. This is the reality in gaming right now. So no, I was not kidnapped to this audience member of mine. I was not bought out to this audience member of mine. I am just basically looking at the market from somebody who is looking for the best deal possible. If you're doing that, you won't be worried about what these companies are doing. You just position yourself and make sure that they earn every single dollar that you ever give them. That's what you need to do. Thanks for watching the video. We'll keep monitoring the story. I think it's a very important one. I appreciate you guys' time and audience, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.